Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, actually, for you folks. Good morning to me. Monarchs Mocha on the air on a Friday. As I mentioned yesterday, we'd probably be in the hotel room today, and we wouldn't venture out, at least not for the show. We'll try to do that tomorrow for a Saturday playoff special, which we did a Saturday playoff special at the ballpark last week. And pardon me, I'm kind of a little ragged, trying to get the old head going here. Anyway, glad you guys are along. I usually look better, but hey, I got my Monarchs postseason cap on, feeling good about it. I'll have the label on, so it's all good. I will take your questions and comments. Where are we? Well, see, I don't think you can really tell from this shot, but that's that's Fargo. We are at the Holiday Inn in Fargo. I did not know last night till about 10:15. We were all summoned to the ballpark around. Turn the volume down just a tad here. Summoned the ballpark around. We're supposed to be there at 9. Be prepared at 9. The game itself, when I left my house at about 8:30, 8:25, somewhere in there, grabbed a little snack on the way. It was in the. They just wrapped up the 6th. They're going to the 7th, I think is what it was. Or maybe they were in the 7th, and Chicago was batting. And it took another, took quite a bit of time. By the time I got I sat down in the ballpark in John West office or the clubhouse, and it was 7th inning, and Chicago was batting. I'm sorry, Fargo was batting after Chicago cut it to a 1-run lead. What a crazy game last night it was. John Silviano, big hero for Fargo, a name you'll be watching in earnest tonight, hoping the Monarchs can solve him. He had a grand slam home run last night that really turned the game in their favor. That game, it looked from all practical purposes 5-0 early for Chicago. Chicago blew 2 leads in the series, both of them very late. They blew a lead in game number 3, which they had a lead and they got walked off. Silviano's base hit, and they had a fairly comfortable lead when the guy was pitching very well last night. It looked like they were well on their way to going home to face the Monarchs today. It didn't work out that way, and I'll kind of walk you through that game real quickly here and take your questions and comments. We get you set up for today. I do have your matchups as well. We'll give that to you as well. But really, it was John Silviano in the 7th inning, a grand slam. What happened was, too, the defense failed Chicago. I don't know the move they made because I didn't see it, okay? But there was a move made, a pinch running move, and they had to shuffle some folks on the infield. But there was an error at short, and that error left the inning wide open. It looked like the inning was over. At the time, Chicago had 2 outs in the 7th. They were ahead, and we looked like they were going to have at least a 2-run lead going in the 8th inning. It was going to be a nail biter to finish, but it looked like things were going to go well for them. Let me pull this up for you to the box score last night because it is very interesting what happened. And again, the score was a 10-6 final. That's not indicative of just how close of a game this was last night. It was 5-0 Chicago through 6. I'm sorry, through 5, pardon me. They got 2 on the board in the 6th inning. It was a 5-3 ball game going into the 7th. And a 5 spot turned the whole thing around. They scored 8 runs the last two chances. Basically, in that inning, they were going to get out with minimal damage and have the 1 run coming home unearned in that inning. I think it was because it was 8. It was 6. It was 6-3. It was 6-3. They were going to get out of the inning with the ground ball to short, and the throw was low, and all hands are safe. Run comes home, and all of a sudden the wheels are off. Then the grand slam happened. I'm kind of pulling up the don't know if they've got this in the game story or not. Let's see here. I don't think they tell us the entire story. Although Fargo made some errors too. They had 400 runs early on, but I'm trying to see if they have. Does it tell us? Yeah, they don't. Maybe it should. Maybe the Chicago story will tell you more about it. I don't think that's in there. Here we go. No. Anyway, well, I'll have to dig it up. Anyway, they Chicago did make the play and wind up with the error. And the next batter, John Silviano, hits that loads the bases up. Yeah, I thought for sure too. Again, we were sitting, and I'll set the scene for you folks. We were sitting in the clubhouse at Legends Field because when I got there at 9:00, unloaded my stuff, got ready to load the bus. So we had already loaded because we're in various, but the game was still in the 7th. At the time, I sat down and there were 2 outs in the 7th, and they needed one in the ground ball. And I watched the play with John West and Jerry Bashar, trainer, and that ball throw the first base on a routine play was low, and it moved everybody up. Got to run home, load the bases, and now it's a grand slam for Silviano, and Silviano would give them the lead. They would never look back. Chicago did get the game at 1.8-7 in the 8th inning. Chicago had runners. Chicago had traffic in both the 8th and 9th inning. Chicago had the bases loaded with 2 down in the 8th inning. I'm sorry, the 9th inning, and a ball was sent to the warning track in left center. And we all thought that ball may be going out of here. Instead, it was a fly ball caught in left center, and Fargo goes on to win it. So crazy game last night. It is sunny in Fargo. I will tell you this morning at 7:15, it was a little chilly. It was about 50 degrees this morning. I believe it's going to be a low of 47 tonight. Although tomorrow night, I think the temperature is going to be more in the high 50s. I know Casey Strong, our driver, sort of thought Chicago had left his sleeves, I believe, in the car or at home or something. So we'll donate some sleeves to him. But it will be a little frosty once the sun goes down. It's not obviously Fargo in December or January. You don't want to be around these parts at that time of year, but it should be nice. Sun is out today. There was a slight chance of rain. We had some rain coming through really just south of Sioux Falls, more toward really between somewhere around Council Bluffs and Sioux Falls. I can't tell you where because I was asleep on the floor, but there somewhere along the way, yes, asleep on the floor. There were somewhere along the way we ran into some storms. Then it cleared out about somewhere around the other side of Sioux Falls into like Vermilion, that area, and the rest of the way up it seemed pretty decent, I think, weather-wise. But yeah, it's sunny today, and it's a little, like I said, a little chilly this morning. If I wasn't so dragging ace, I would have got up. I would do my walk this morning. I'm going to squeeze it in somehow because I'm running out of time. We go to the ballpark at 3, and we haven't finished game notes, and I got broadcast prep, and I'm just kind of getting my juices flowing, eat some snacks, do some healthy eating. Anyway, tonight, game is at 6:30. Now, it's a 6:30 start time. We'll be on the air at 6 on MixLR. Let me get to that in a moment. Now, let's tell you about a couple things first. First off, the pitching matchup tonight. We knew Matt Hall was pretty much slated to go tonight. Here is the matchup for tonight. It'll be John Ludwig against Matt Hall. Now, Ludwig pitched in relief on Wednesday night, in long relief. His numbers in the postseason this year, and I'll just pull those up for you. Ludwig, as you know what Hall's done, got the win against Sioux City last week. Ludwig, who went an inning of relief, long relief, inning of relief, gave a run up, a hit, and a walk. He's a true rookie, Ludwig is. I believe, out of Plymouth, Minnesota State, Mankato. You say it, Mankato, right? Mankato. On the season, he was 2-2 with a 4.70 as a starter and worked one game in relief, 28 2/3, 6 walks, 40 strikeouts. Didn't walk a lot. Just looking here, he faced the Monarchs in relief on August 4 in the second, back-to-back days. He worked in the game the Monarchs won here 7-1. Rakiba Sampson He went 2 1/3 that day, a run, it was unearned, a hit. He worked an inning of relief on a 9-6 winner on August 2nd here, an inning, a strikeout. Most recently, but prior to pitching at Chicago the other night, he pitched against Winnipeg. He hadn't pitched a lot, okay? The last time he pitched prior to the Winnipeg game, the Chicago game was in Winnipeg on September 3rd. He worked there, and he went 5 innings in a start. He got a loss at Chicago, getting blanked 5-0 in a start. So his last 3 times out, 11 innings of work and 7 earned runs, 14 hits, just the 2 walks. He won't walk a lot, struck out 8. Now the Monarchs do swing and miss a lot, so we do know that's a player for Kansas City whenever the Monarchs are at the plate. But that's part of the offense approach, aggressive offense approach, which also leads to extra base hits and home runs. But so tonight, John Ludwig, a right-hander, 6'5", a lanky guy, 200-pounder. But get a pitch the other night in relief. He did pitch Wednesday night, so he's pitching this postseason. That's been it. Got Matt Hall going tonight for Kansas City, which gives us the rest of the matchups of this series. And I'm going to pull this. I'm going to put this on the screen for you guys. There we go. There's the entire matchup of the series. I mentioned Ludwig and Hall tonight. Helton and Schaefer tomorrow. Tom Shaw and Justin Donatello I expect on Monday. I do know that it'll be Ludwig, Helton, and Tom Shaw for the Fargos. So a pair of righties and a lefty. Tom Shaw's been very good. He has been every bit the ace of this staff all year. He will be a tough customer on Monday. We'll get there when we get there. Justin Donatello's been pretty good too. I just want game time to get here. Yes, I do too, Frank. I do too. I don't think I'm as jazzed. I shouldn't put it this way. I was a really, really wreck last Friday. I'm going to say wreck. I was a little more nervous Friday. I think because you see Sioux City so much. I don't know if that was it or if the revenge factor or what it was. I still felt very good about things for Kansas City. And I still feel good about Kansas City in the series, regardless of what happens tonight or tomorrow. It wouldn't shock me the Monarchs won both. The pitching matchups are good for Kansas City in both. Schaefer's a wild card. He hadn't pitched in a while, but he's healthy, ready to go. And I think we've seen when Schaefer's been on what Schaefer can do. And he can be just as dominating as anybody in this league that's why he was picked up this year by the Cubs. We know what Donatello can do. We saw him in the postseason, the regular season. We also know what Matt Hall can do. They would probably go with Ryan Flores in Game 4. You would figure for Kansas City Game 4, most likely scenario would be Kima Sampson in Game 4. Gonna miss American Royal Barbecue on the road. Oh well. I guess the choice is, Dan, to watch Monarchs playoff baseball or have some Kansas City barbecue. I got to tell you, I would go with the Monarchs every day. I think it's Kansas City barbecue or food, but I just think these are special times, and American Royal will come back every year. Nothing against the American Royal. It's a great thing, great thing. We can all taste the great barbecue, but this to be in this spot in the first year of the Monarchs is pretty big. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Brad. By the way, while Brad stops by there, Brad is one of the voices of the Cleveland Railroaders. He and his partner Denny Gehrig, two phenomenal gentlemen. I will say, first off, congratulations. I don't have the graphic up for you, but they were named the Broadcasters of the Year in the association. First time that we hadn't had this award in a while that I recall. And first time a media team, broadcast team, a duo has been named. So both of them got named it. And what I will say is that's about Joe Capietra, about Jay Hendricks, about anyone that I know that wins these awards. When I can say this, that they're even better human beings, that to me is a real award. And I can't always say that, and I don't always know. I mean, there's some people I just don't know. I don't know person A sometimes, and I assume they're great folk, but I don't know. I do know these two guys are really good people, and they deserve it. And it's like I've said about Joe. Joe does his thing. That Joe is even a better human being, which we talk about this all the time. You want great talent. You want great human beings, people I work with. great talent and better human beings. And it is quite an honor. And it's a vote that I don't think that a lot of folks understand. I'll say this tongue in cheek, Brad. I don't believe people vote for themselves. I guess they would. I guess you could if you, for example, I couldn't vote for Jay Hendricks as GM or Executive of the Year. I just couldn't do it because that's I'm not allowed to because he's my GM. Now, I could have voted for myself for Broadcast of the Year, but I guess somebody could. And I guess if a guy really believed, if you really believed in your heart of hearts that you were the best, well, then you'd probably vote yourself. But I don't know anybody out there in this business that I'm in that would actually vote for themselves. I say I don't know anybody else, Brad, right? Brad and I probably chuckling together the same thing. That being said, to get that award amongst your peers is really cool. Hey, it's special. Who's not going to lie to you and tell you? No one's going to lie to you and tell you. Yes, Brad, right? Again, no one's going to tell you they wouldn't want an award because everybody likes to have a feel-good pat on the shoulder. But, the fact that those two guys won it in their first playoff year, and we've been rivals with them on the field, not off the field, but on the field we have been, and I think we have a really good relationship. And again, tip of the cap. I should have probably pulled the graphic up, but honestly, after the night we went through, I'm just trying to make sure the back is functioning in one piece today. But I'll tell you a funny story, guys. Justin Donatello, who will pitch on Monday, pulled into the ballpark and dropped a couple of his teammates off. And he goes, "You're on the bus?" I'm like, well, yeah. I guess he got used to seeing, because for a while there, I was back in the back with him chatting a lot. And I guess he got used to not seeing me in that last row. Well, yeah. Fargo was a tougher place to get to on a jet plane. Not that you can't get there. You can still fly them out of here. They have air service, but it's a little pricier, a little tougher. And I guess in hindsight, I could have flown to Chicago and waited there at the airport, Hilton or whatever, and then stayed and checked into the next hotel, or flown out to Fargo today. But I think I'd missed some of the experience. Just being able to see that experience last night. Let's see here. How many home runs for the Monarchs? I'm sorry about that. Hit the regular season, Frank. Good question. 147 league-leading home runs, which I haven't done the tail of the tape yet in this one. And I believe they were second. I believe they were second in home runs, but I don't start me lying exactly, but I believe that's the case. Let me see if I can pull that up. Well, I can't because I've not done the tail of the tape part of the game notes yet, but I believe they're second. They were second. Monarchs were first, and by a large, by about 20 plus home runs. But 147. What's interesting to note about that, Frank, is that while that's a league record, it's not a franchise record. 161 is the franchise record set in the old Northern League. That was in 2008. But different season, different time, different league totally. I would argue that the 147 in this league is against much better pitching in that Northern League in 08 in general. Although you had a more consistent staff, you think as many guys signed off those rosters, but I would say that this quality of play is much higher, I would think, now in 2021 than it was in 2008 in the Northern League. But yeah, you bet. No problem, Frank. No problem at all. I got this new thing, this automated thing that lets my comments jump out there before I put them up there. All right. Again, we didn't know last night we were going until 10. Literally, when that game was over, everybody got up on the card tables. The guys are playing cards. They're watching the Thursday night football game. Guys were kind of in and out at the snacks. And Joe was in his office. Mike Hitteman and Bill Sobey were in their office. Everybody was watching, and I was watching it in John West's office. And John, here's a funny story about John. John didn't know if he was going to be going which way, and he'd actually was a chance he wasn't going to be on the bus. If we went to Chicago, John was going to fly tomorrow because it made more sense for him to go. He has, the school's already started. He can go to school and all that and fly in the afternoon. But it was going to be tougher to do that. It was a little pricier, as my wife discovered and others, I believe, discovered. Flying to Chicago couple $100. Flying here is like times 3 right now, just a little more expensive. It's a little tougher time. But John actually at one point was dressed to go back home, and then as when Chicago put that 5 spot up, he kind of began to unpack his warm-up pants and his sweatshirt with the bus, and then he kind of stopped a moment because Chicago was only down by a run, and then boom, here comes that 3 spot in the 8th inning for Fargo, and then he puts the pants on, and we win it. And although we're still sitting there, the bases loaded with the 9th inning, but we really didn't know. And I looked at both weather reports. I did a little bit of both. I packed a little something in case I got a little frosty here, and it's all we could do, man. It's all we could do. So anyway, team arrived about 7:15. I left about 10 and something last night. Got checked in, and we have a 3 o'clock bus. Game time 6:30 tonight, which gets me to all the particulars in tonight's action in the playoffs here in the American Association Finals series here. And it's game 1 tonight. 6:30 to start. We'll be on the air at 6 o'clock. Now, 2 ways to watch the show tonight. And I gave this to you all yesterday, and I'll give it to you again today. First off, the video side with Jack Michaels, who's a real true gem. He's a local legend here. He's been broadcasting in these parts for a number of years. He does North Dakota, University of North Dakota sports up the road. He obviously knows North Dakota State, which we're on the campus of, and he does a show here every day. He is on the AA call tonight, American Association, AABaseball.tv. He'll be the guy you'll hear tonight if you're watching the video, AABaseball.tv. Now, I hope that you folks will indulge me and listen to our broadcast. We're going to talk a little bit at the pregame tonight and somewhat during the game. The 1942 Kansas City Monarchs. We've been talking about the Monarchs championship, the Negro World Series in 42. And there's some really interesting things. One in particular I'm going to talk about tonight a little bit in the broadcast, but also I'm going to give you games 3, I believe, in our Monarchs flashback moment, and also have some Monarchs 101 with DV tonight on our pregame show. You won't get that on AA Baseball TV. As a matter of fact, you won't get it on AA Baseball TV at home. You only get it on our Mixel, our broadcast. Or, hopefully the booth cam will be up in my personal channel. I'll give that link to you folks in a second. Jeff says 3 years ago yes. Ready for that? Yes, it was 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago on a Saturday, wasn't it? Or was it on a Friday? It was a Friday, wasn't it? Because we had that series. 9/11 was a Tuesday. Wednesday, we played Tuesday, Wednesday in St. Paul. Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it was Friday, Saturday in Kansas City because we remember getting up very early on that Sunday morning going to Fox 4 with Joe, and Joe left pretty shortly after. It was Saturday. It was a Saturday, I believe, Jeff. It was a Saturday because Daniels was open late, wasn't it? That's right. You're right. It was a Saturday night. It's a little longer this year because of the schedule with the play-in game, that wild card play-in game. It was Saturday night. Yep, it was. 3-1. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. It was Saturday night, but it was because of schedule this year. We didn't start till Friday. That's why it's a little, and that's why my wife and she was like, "Gosh, I don't remember being this hard a couple of years ago." And I said, "Well, sweetie, we were home on the weekend because the series began on the road during the week." And it's like, oh yeah, because the play-in game, the wild card play-in, which was a week ago Wednesday, that's the reason why. Okay, Mixer Alarm, I give the link to the broadcast. I've got it loaded in there tonight. And let's see here. Thought I had it loaded in there, but somewhere. Where's my event? Somewhere. Event list. That's what I need to pull up. Event list, and I need to go to my live page. Somewhere. Oh, here's the, I'm going to copy the link for you guys. Here's the link right here. Copy it for you. I'll put it in the chat right here, so you guys will have it. And there's the link to the broadcast tonight. Oops, that's not it. Sorry about that. Let's try it again, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. Copy link. Let's copy the clipboard. Let's try it again. Let's see if it'll work. And it doesn't work. Okay. Well, we'll try something else here. Oh, that's weird because it's telling me it's copying, but oh well. Let's try it now. There we go. There's our link to the broadcast tonight. Just send it in the chat right there. Yeah, Farmer Ted Ole, that guy that does the Cotton Eye Joe, which is not the real Cotton Eye Joe, by the way, just so you know. The difference between Fargo and Lubbock. The Cotton Eye Joe actually is fiddle music, not techno music. Just so I throw that out there. But Ole is the farmer guy that does the dance. The Cotton Eye Joe in the 8th inning does also the ball boy and rocks in the chair. Wears the same overalls my great grandfather used to wear, who was a rancher and a farmer out in West Texas. He's just a shorter version, but it reminds me of what the look I grew up seeing as a very, very young man. But he is, his last 2 games are tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, he's retiring. He won to Florida, I hear. And what's the other guy's name? Superfan. He'll be here tonight, won't he, Kevin? My nemesis, my mascot nemesis. There's the link tonight, the broadcast. I'll give you a link of the page too if I can get to it. I don't know why it's not coming up to my live. They've changed up the live page deal, and it's a little bit of a pain to find it. And I don't know why I can't get to my live page. Try this. There we go. This may get to it. There we go. There's my live. Here's the actual live page where the here's the live page link right here. This is the actual live page too, as well. You can either one of these will work. Yeah, he's a nice dude. By the way, it's a tongue-in-cheek thing. Me and that superfan guy, but boy, he is almost as big of a whipping as Rowdy, the Cowboys mascot, who's behind the goalpost waving field goals down the middle away. It's like, oh my God. There we go. There's the live page. Also, if you are inclined, you do want to catch the booth cam, which will be on this same software, that will be on my channel. And here's my link to my channel right here. This is something we put up yesterday. Some of you folks can go by there. What it'll be, it's the booth. Once in a while, it won't go down, but the audio will go away. Audio won't go away, but once in a while the video will maybe perhaps drop because I unplugged the camera by accident or something, but I don't mean to. There's plenty of room here. It shouldn't be a problem. It's only like in Sioux City where it happened, but there's the booth cam is. It's my YouTube channel, and you can check that out tonight. It's me talking as the game's going on. So if you don't subscribe to aabaseball.tv and you do want to hear the broadcast and see something on the screen where you can look at the booth cam, it's the exact same broadcast on MixLR. The only thing is, the chat will be a little more active on the MixLR chat. Although I will chat with you back on the booth cam. You may have to give me a little time there. But oh, he's a teacher too, huh? Those poor kids. Poor kids. Our poor kids. Scholar says, good luck, Monarchs. Keep the amazing work. Keep on winning. Yes, let's keep on winning. Keep on winning. Again, tonight, broadcast time, 6 o'clock. We'll be ready to go with Joe Capietra, and we'll have the top step. We'll have your American Association look back at what this week's been, a couple of the awards. We'll definitely talk about Brad and Dennings Award for sure. And also Jay Hendricks, Executive of the Year. You're Jay Hendricks, Executive of the Year. And also a little bit looking back to the rest of really just in general, just the week it's been. And then we'll also have your Coors Light flashback moment back in 1942, I believe. Bonus 101s. We have a bonus for you tonight. And we just get all that pregame stuff for you ready to go tonight on MixLR. And again, our broadcast time, 6 o'clock. First pitch at 6:30 from here at Newman Outdoor Stadium. A great venue, great place to go, great town. I wish we would have known a little earlier. I wish we had a day off. There's only thing I'll say about this series. Fargo has the advantage from the travel standpoint. They went their beds last night. There was a travel day yesterday, but we couldn't come up yesterday because we didn't know we were going to go. That's probably something that down the road the league will have to look for. The travel day was always built in as a plus, but it gets eaten up by rain. Only problem is the team that did their business, we suffered. Fargo will have the trip back down on Sunday, but they've got all day to get there, and they're not going to be driving all night, I don't think. So that's a bit of a tough one for us. I don't know that it's a rallying cry. I just can tell you from a competitive standpoint, that is, if you're trying to make a postseason series even Steven, except for the home and away, well, that's not even Steven. Now, last night, Chicago and Kansas City, if they would have gone to Chicago, both teams have traveled all night. It'd have been pretty even. But I don't think it matters. Somebody asked me, is there a preference yesterday? I don't think there's a preference. I can make a case for either team from a fan standpoint. Played Fargo early, so didn't see them at we didn't see them at our ballpark until we saw them in May. We came here in August. A series that was kind of, well, we won the final game. You lost the first 2-1. You had a lead, and you had you kind of let one get away. One you just didn't have the offense going. You lost, and we had one you were wire to wire, and it was just a little hiccup on the way. You had those on a road trip. I think things are a little different than the team of August 2nd, which was very good, very, very good, was still, that gas pedal was still getting accelerated. And we wind up finishing strong. We know we had a great month of July, had a great month of August, and that was the early part of August. Chicago, you'd seen back-to-back weeks, and you'd won a series, swept a series, lost a series, but had an edge over them head-to-head. I think in their case, you had their bullpen's number, which turned out to be the case here in Fargo. I think from a standpoint of what's our record against Fargo, Karen, it's 3-3. We won 2 at home, lost 1 at home, won 1 here, lost 2 here. The only thing was one was early in the year, and the other one was up and down, meaning we were home, went up, came back down again. We didn't have off days in front of it. We played the night before and drove and got here mid-morning. I remember we got here about 10 o'clock in the morning, if I remember correctly, and we went right back down after the series. And we played we didn't have an off day on the back end of it, I don't believe. But it was up and down, midweek series. It was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because usually Thursdays here at getaway day games. We didn't have that. So anyway. Okay, so that is what I got for you folks. Anything else? Any final questions here? But again, I got to make a case when I was saying a case as far as either one. I don't think for the Monarchs, it's going to be, you're going to face a good pitching staff, a good offense, and a good team regardless. It doesn't matter. They were, these are the 2 top teams in the North, record-wise, were Chicago and Fargo. You were going to face them anyway. You weren't going to be facing King County in a 7-game series or Gary because they didn't make the postseason. You knew when you make this far, you're going to be playing a team that's pretty salty, and they're going to be every bit the challenge you are, and it should be a fun one. It should be a fun series here, best of 5. I still feel very good about things for this ball club. Kansas City it's like I said against Sioux City. If Kansas City does what Kansas City does over the course of 5 games, I think they'll be fine. I don't think you will see some things that Chicago had trouble with and that Fargo had trouble with. I don't think you're going to have those troubles from Kansas City. The Monarchs won't let the way that things set up. There's a certain mentality, I think, in this ball club, and you're also playing with them. I think both offenses are very good, Chicago and Fargo, but Kansas City, we've talked about this before, is 1 through 9. As lethal as a lineup card. Now that's the challenge. Can you stop them for 5 games? And that's going to be the challenge. But a delicious series. We'll talk all about it tonight. I'll be on the air at 5:30 from Newman Outdoors on Facebook Live for you folks, a pregame live. And we'll get you guys set up with the lineup cards and all that. But again, tonight it'll be righty, lefty. Matt Hall going tonight. Give me that reminder again. There we go. John Ludwig and Matt Hall tonight. Ludwig is a rookie, and Matt Hall, the former big leaguer, the lefty for the Monarchs. And that's the lineup card tonight for Newman Outdoor. The breeze, it's hard to tell from where we're at. It's blowing in the trees, but they've had some shifting winds. They had a blowout out to the corner, left field corner the other night. They had it blowing in last night. I don't know if it really, I don't really know what the wind's going to be doing tonight. We'll give you that update tonight on the broadcast. Are you guys ready for a little for a Go Monarchs? Because I'm ready, and I got to get going because I'm running way behind here, and we got to get going. So, all right, bring this down. Bring this down, bring this up. 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. You all ready? 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. Here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. I'll see you in the broadcast tonight, everybody.